This will be a fairy tale. Lo, there stood the tree-ramparted fortress of Bargatin, nestled in the mist-shrouded hills of Iron Age Ire, where the Tuatha De Danann and the Firbolg waged their ancient bitter war. In what is now known as County Cork, a fair maiden dwelt amongst the living, though the living knew her not. Born deaf and mute, Meredith, daughter of Danu, was naught but a shadow to her kin, save for her skill in weaving, a craft she had learned by the quiet art of observation. She had never heard her name nor understood its meaning, as the world of sound was forever sealed from her. Amidst the ceaseless clan warfare, there was one called a warrior once, but no longer, for he had lost his eyes to the enemy's Firbolg. He wandered like a stray hound, purposeless and silent, his memories of sight growing dimmer with each passing day. The voices of others fell upon his ears, yet they brought no solace, only the faint echo of a world he could no longer see. One night, in the realm of dreams, he beheld a vision, a fay by a moonlight river, plucking a lyre of silver strings. In that dream his sight was restored, and with joy he approached her, greeted her with the gladness of a man who has regained what was lost. But the fay, with eyes like starlight, gestured to his blinded eyes and then to her own ears and mouth. Confounded, he shook his head, understanding naught. Then from the sky a great sound resounded, a symphony of infinite harmonies. The heavens themselves seemed to sing, and a crescendo of light, color and darkness enveloped him. In that instant all the mysteries of the universe were laid bare to his soul, and he understood all that was, and all that would ever be, beneath the starry vaults. When the music ceased, he tried to speak, to express the wonders he had seen. A small ethereal tree sprang from his thoughts, bearing fruit of unearthly beauty, and creatures not of this world danced around it splendidly. Yet when he spoke, the only words that came forth were, "You're fair." That face smiled and strummed her lyre again, twice, as if to say wordlessly, "Try again, without words." He in turn closed his mouth tight, playfully showing he would remain silent. With his mind he conjured gardens and grand architectures, unlike any the Celtic lands had ever known. He crowned her with laurels, and from her ears and mouth poured forth torrents of multicolored etheric beauties, forming galaxies that swirled around him, as he found himself adrift among the stars. At that very moment he awoke, trembling, the beauty of the dream shattered, his blind eyes wet with tears, and a wail rising from his throat. Disconsolate, he stumbled through the village, colliding with people and objects, cursing the dream that had shown him what he could no longer have. Yet a Drotar, a priest of the ancient gods, spied the blind warrior and took him by the arm, shaking him, saying, "Come with me." The warrior followed, still stumbling, until they sat within a shrine consecrated to the old gods. "There," the Drotar spoke, "the goddess came to me in a vision and bade me to find you. Though you are blind, you possess a great oneromantic gift, and I shall make you my disciple." The blind warrior nodded, though sorrow weighted heavy upon his heart. "There is more," the Drotar continued. "In our fortress lives a girl, thought a fool by many." The blind warrior's heart quickened at the memory of his dream. "Here she is," said the Drotar, bringing forth Meredith. "But be wary, for she is deaf and mute." A symphony began to swell within the blind warrior's mind. Wide awake, as he saw, not with his eyes but with his soul. He reached out, touching the girl's hands, and as their skins met, a lightning bolt of understanding flashed through their minds. They were not mere mortals, but now the priest and priestess of Tuatha De Danann, destined to become the Shida, the fair folk riders who would guide their kin's souls into the realms of beauty and wisdom they themselves had crafted. When their earthly lives ended, living in the heavens of their weaving, they would return to the world under rare circumstances, as apparitions to some, as beautiful dreams and sights to others, leading the lost and the wandering to their final rest. Yet in time the priest, the blind warrior, chose to be reborn from the etheric lands, against Meredith's pleas, to offer his compassion to a world in need. Ages passed, and she, bound to him by Heroes Gamos, the sacred marriage, recognized him once more in the form of a young man. Her spirit, undying, sought him out, for even in the cycles of life and death, their bond could not be severed.